While the world wastes rivers of water, a group frozen in time guards a secret worth just $10. Without technology or modern speeches, the Mennonites managed to save hundreds of liters per week, using a method that hasn't changed for decades. What do they know that you still haven't discovered? That's what I'm going to show you right now. To understand how this system works, you first need to understand who these people are. The Mennonites live in communities that, to many, seem frozen in time, prioritizing self-sufficiency and manual labor above any digital convenience. For them, water is not just a resource that comes out of a tap. It is a gift that must be managed with mathematical precision. While we see water as something infinite, they treat it as a limited stock that must be moved intelligently, not without relying on electric pumps or expensive sensors. Think about your daily routine. We turn on the tap and let the water run while waiting for it to heat up, or we wash dishes without noticing the liters flowing down the drain unused. The Mennonite mindset is the exact opposite. If you are not actively using every drop, it should not be flowing from the pipe. This zero-waste mentality does not come from scarcity, but from strict discipline. They have turned efficiency into an art form, and the secret lies in how they control pressure without using a single watt of energy. The biggest shock comes when we compare our smart systems with their solution. We spend fortunes on complex plumbing, advanced filters, and electronic valves that, in the end, break or leak anyway. The Mennonites solved this problem by eliminating complexity. They discovered that basic physics is far more reliable than modern technology. The $10 system they use has no electronic parts that burn out or seals that need yearly replacement. It relies on something that never fails: gravity. But what exactly is this system? When walking through a traditional colony, you will not see shiny PVC pipes or control panels. What you find is an ingenious adaptation of containment containers and manual mechanical shutoff valves. The core of the method is demand-based physical distribution. Instead of keeping the entire household network under constant pressure, which causes most domestic leaks today, they use small variable height reservoirs that deliver only the necessary volume for each specific task. The reason the cost is so low is that the components are extremely simple. A high-density polyethylene bucket, a basic mechanical float valve, and a system of level hoses. While the world tries to sell smart home solutions for thousands of dollars, the Mennonites prove that with $10 and basic hydraulic knowledge, you can create a closed-loop system where water is maximized. They use the very structure of their houses to create natural pressure, eliminating the need for any electric pressurizer. The result is silent and relentless efficiency. While an average family wastes up to 30% of their water through invisible leaks or excessive use, these communities manage to utilize almost everything they collect. And the reason almost no one believes in this efficiency is because we were taught that more expensive always means better. But the truth the Mennonites prove every day is that simplicity is not a lack of knowledge. It is the highest level of sophistication. And now I'm going to show you exactly how the logic of this system can be applied to change the way you consume resources. Let's go straight to the list of materials you will need to build this gravity-controlled system. The first item is a 20-liter polyethylene reservoir with a lid, which can be a food-grade bucket or a durable container. Next, you will need a low-pressure float valve, like the ones used in small water dispensers, and a flange adapter for the water outlet. For conduction, use a half-inch silicone hose and simple metal clamps. The cost of these components at any hardware store is extremely low, but the engineering behind the assembly is what ensures the system lasts for decades without maintenance. The first practical step is drilling the base of your reservoir. Use a hole saw or step drill bit to create an opening on the lower side, exactly 2 centimeters from the bottom, to prevent sediment from entering the hose. This is where you will install the outlet flange.
You got it just right.
It is crucial that this connection receives a generous layer of thread seal tape or a high-quality rubber gasket, as this is the critical point where static pressure is highest. Next, drill an identical hole at the top, but on the opposite side, where the inlet float valve will be installed. The float should be adjusted to stop the flow when the reservoir reaches 80% capacity, ensuring a constant reserve volume always ready for use. The float works as the mechanical brain of the project and eliminates the need for electricity. Unlike a conventional system, where street pressure forces water against your faucet seals, here water only enters to replace what has been consumed. This means your output system operates under constant, smooth pressure, preventing chronic dripping leaks. When installing the float, make sure the arm has free movement and does not touch the bucket walls. This is the difference between a system that fails in a month and one that runs autonomously for years. Now you need to apply the logic of hydraulic head, which is the secret of Mennonite efficiency. For functional water flow in a sink or workstation, the reservoir must be placed at an elevated position. The rule is simple. For every meter of height above the outlet, you gain approximately 0.1 bar of pressure. The ideal setup is to mount the reservoir about 1.5 meters above the outlet point. This height generates a smooth laminar flow, meaning a continuous and non-turbulent stream of water, which cleans more efficiently while using half the volume of a conventional pressurized faucet. At the end of the outlet hose, you should install a simple ball valve or an instant shutoff trigger. The connection between the elevated reservoir and the faucet should be as direct as possible, avoiding 90-degree bends that cause friction loss.
Just as I intended.
When opening the outlet, gravity does the heavy lifting, and the float system at the top silently refills the tank. Since the flow is controlled by height rather than a pump, excessive splashing is eliminated, ensuring every drop reaches its intended target. To complete the zero waste cycle, you can connect the sink drain output to a simple two-stage filtration system using only sand and gravel in a second bucket. Because your new system has a lower and more intelligent flow rate, the filter can process gray water much more effectively, allowing it to be reused immediately for watering plants or cleaning floors. You have just built a self-sufficient resource management station that ignores power outages and infrastructure failures. What was once invisible monthly waste is now a closed loop of efficiency and technical functionality. A technical detail many enthusiasts overlook but which the Mennonites take seriously is the color and material of the reservoir. Never use transparent or translucent containers if your system is exposed to any light. Sunlight combined with stagnant or low-flow water promotes rapid algae and biofilm growth inside the bucket and hoses, which can clog the float and compromise hygiene. The ideal choice is high-density polyethylene in black or dark blue, or painting the exterior with opaque paint. This blocks internal photosynthesis, keeping water cleaner for much longer and reducing the need for harsh chemical cleaning. Another essential point to extend the lifespan of your project is installing a sediment pre-filter before the float inlet. Even if the water comes from a public supply, small particles of rust or sand can get stuck in the float seal, preventing proper closure and causing overflow. You don't need an expensive filter. A simple fine stainless steel mesh or even a cheap nylon line filter is enough to protect the mechanism. This small addition transforms a homemade setup into a resilient engineering system capable of running for years without manual adjustment. For those who want to scale this solution to multiple output points, the principle of communicating vessels is your greatest ally. You can connect 2 or 3 reservoirs in series at the same height, using a single inlet with a float in the first tank. By linking the bases of the reservoirs with larger diameter hoses, the water level automatically equalizes across all of them. This increases your storage capacity without increasing mechanical complexity. It is a modular technique. You start with 20 liters, and as your need for autonomy grows, you simply add more modules to the system while maintaining gravity as the main driver. Preventive maintenance is minimal, but there is a protocol that ensures maximum efficiency. Every 6 months, it is recommended to clean the bottom of the reservoir to remove sediment buildup. Since the outlet is positioned 2 centimeters above the base, this debris never reaches your faucet, but it should still be drained periodically. Simply install a small drain valve at the lowest point of the bucket. Opening it for just 5 seconds is enough to flush out accumulated sediment and keep the system running like new. In terms of flow efficiency, pay attention to hose diameter. While a half-inch hose is standard for home use if you need to transport water more than 5 meters horizontally before a drop, consider using 3/4-inch tubing to reduce friction losses. This ensures that even under low gravitational pressure, the delivered volume remains sufficient for heavy tasks. In passive hydraulics, every bend and every narrowing is an enemy of flow. Efficiency depends on keeping the path as straight and unobstructed as possible. Finally, understand that adopting this method is not just about saving a few dollars on your water bill, but about building resilience in a world increasingly dependent on fragile infrastructure. When you master passive resource management, you eliminate the anxiety of supply interruptions or rising tariffs. The Mennonites do not use this system because they are poor or lack technology. They use it because autonomy is the highest value a person can have. By applying this practical knowledge at home, you take the first step toward breaking free from dependency and entering a lifestyle where intelligence and simplicity set the rules. Implementing this $10 system is much more than a simple weekend project. It is a definitive shift toward true autonomy. Now that you have the knowledge to turn gravity into your greatest ally and waste into something of the past, the next step depends only on your execution. If this kind of practical and resilient wisdom resonates with you, leave a comment below with the word autonomy, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next low-cost engineering insights that the modern world insists on ignoring. Don't let this knowledge go down the drain. Start building today and transform the way you relate to basic resources in your life.